And welcome everybody to another Sunday live stream. A little bit of a fast start because I started late. Apologies for that. I was trying to figure out my light over here and also some other stuff because my headphones didn't want to connect. I guess I don't really even need them, come to think of, because I usually don't use them. I usually only uh, look at the camera and talk. I don't really listen to anything unless I'm like, listening to YouTube videos, my own or whatever. And so are we actually live though? Are we actually live? That's the first question. Second question: will LinkedIn comments show up on Restream? Hopefully, yes, but you never know. Okay, so we are live. Okay, good. I can hear myself. Perfect. There's two people on LinkedIn, one person on YouTube. So welcome, welcome. Hopefully we'll see how people come in because I did not invite people. I just wanted to try it out, like to see. I only invited people yesterday. Perfect. I can see a YouTube comment. I don't know if I can see all the LinkedIn comments that are going to be coming, or if there are going to be if there are going to be any coming. There's three people now on LinkedIn. That's like my record on. Oh, LinkedIn is live. Okay, perfect. We can see it here. Yeah, I can highlight that. Perfect. So it's perfect. It's all working for once, which is very rare with these streaming platforms, especially rare for Restream. But I guess I can see that in the UI they've updated some things, so they've been I guess taking care of it and patching the hell out of it. So that's good, and it's nice. So yeah, and um, I'm not gonna be talking to how do I put this? I'm going to be talking more monotone today because I still have remnants of a kind of a sinusitis, which has affected my throat as well over the past week. I've been dealing with all sorts of stuff. Just getting myself cleaned out via antibiotics because last week I had a pretty on Sunday it was a pretty bad pink eye because I was like looking at the screen, but it was like very limited, and the stream was basically the only thing I did on the computer that day because I just after that I just kept my eyes shut and but then my ear started feeling blocked and my throat started flaring up a little bit, so I went to the doctor and she was like, oh yeah, you have something we'll give you something for the eye, and she also told me that I have a middle ear infection in my right ear. So I was like, oh, that's a little interesting because I didn't even know, I didn't feel it. Can you smell? Well, that's another thing. I can smell partly. I can't smell like fully entirely. That was another thing where my taste and smell kind of went out completely. For like 2 days, and then it kind of came back, and I was still coming back. And so I hope the antibiotics are taking care of that as well. But so she told me, oh, you have a middle ear infection. But it was weird because I think I've had only one middle ear infection in my life before. It was like a decade ago, probably, maybe even more. And I remember that it hurt like crazy, and I need my eardrum needed to be like punctured, and then they had to like clean it out and stuff. So I remember that, and yeah, that hurt a lot. And like, I was just feeling blocked. It was just muffled hearing, so I didn't realize it was going to be like a middle ear infection. I thought it was just going to be like something from the congestion, but no. So yeah, so she gave me antibiotics for that as well, and I've just been taking those. So it's been getting better. It's the hearing is way better now than it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and stuff like that, because that was the height of it. And now I'm coming back to my old self, except here and there, like for kind of a you know, still kind of congested, and then sometimes the throat flares up. But other than that, it's pretty good. So yeah. Anyways, so okay, you're just stuffed up. Okay. Oh, there we go. It is showing up. Perfect. You're just stuffed up. It will clear in a couple of days, and your senses will come back. Hopefully, hopefully. So 3 here, 2 on YouTube. Very nice. Okay. Interesting because, like I said, I shared this stream only yesterday, And yeah, I'm trying to find something. I shared the stream only yesterday, so I didn't think there would be many, because usually when I share it, like, Sunday streams, I make the new event on Monday for like next Sunday, and then I invite them the same day, and then people have like time. That's when like the most people come. So, but I figured out, hey, I might just invite them only a day before to see what happens. Like, if there are going to be more viewers, or if there's going to be even less viewers. But apparently, it's been pretty steady. So, anyways, Anna, okay. I didn't want to show this post right off the bat because it was kind of interesting. Boom, boom. Hang on. Now get to work. Yes. Yeah, I gotta get to work. Yeah, my weekly reflection. No, that's not it. That's the one. Okay. Cool. So I saw this post, and it was interesting because I didn't realize how how closely the it's lagging a little bit. I didn't realize you know um, how closely the search browser statistics would resemble, well, rather other way around, how closely the AI usage statistics would resemble browser usage. I'm sorry, it's like huge tongue twister. How the AI visits, right? AI user visits, how they resembled Google user visits, and well, browsers in general. Like how it's Google has a obvious majority, and then all these other ones are pretty like close by. Well, they're not close behind, but they're close behind to each other, which is interesting to see. And it's the same way with ChatGPT. They are obviously the biggest, and then they have some competitors, quote unquote competitors. I'm surprised that DeepSeek is number 2. That's actually wow, interesting. I thought they turned it off for a time. Apparently, oh yeah, they did, because it was funny when uh, DeepSeek. Well, no. When OpenAI went out, like it had an outage. Like ChatGPT had an outage. Coincidentally, uh, DeepSeek also had an outage. It's really interesting, huh? And then they realized why, because DeepSeek was using, obviously unauthorized. They were not authorized to use it, but they were using like ChatGPT's API and stuff like that. So yeah, it's really funny how that panned out. So I don't know. I don't know they were number 2. That surprised me, but they are close behind to each other again. So that's a thing. But people are saying this is the future. I'm not entirely sure. Saw a comment my dad made, and he said, basically there's no change, everything within the boundaries and margin of error. I guess people are well aware of lying LLMs. You ask the same question to 3 different chatbots and get 3 sometimes contradictory answers, essentially useless. So that's another thing to be aware. Obviously, I always warn about that stuff, about hallucinations and stuff like that. But yeah, it's kind of true. Like, unless you're asking about a very obvious fact, you know, then ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini will all have like different answers and stuff. I'm not sure if contradictory. Sometimes it's not contradictory. Sometimes it's like just worded differently, and it tells you kind of like omits other things, right? Because ChatGPT, I take it as it's usually the less quote unquote safe one. Claude is way more safeguarded, and Gemini is like it's just really based on Google and stuff. So it could give you, ChatGPT will give you probably the most unfiltered answer if you ask it, especially the Model 4.0, which is now legacy. GPT-5 is, and people have been talking about that. It's really just sterile, honestly. And then you have, Claude, that is very, like, extremely sterile. It's even more sterile than, like, GPT-5. So it can give you, like, a very just, rigid answer, and stuff like that. And Gemini is just like, I have not gotten into that much because I just didn't like it. I just didn't like the, I guess, how to put this. I just didn't like the way it answers. It's a little bit odd. Oh, it's a big comment right here. I don't think it's going to show it in its. Oh no, it will show it in its entirety. LinkedIn did a great cutback on reach this week. I posted it. I posted yesterday and it immediately asked me to pay to boost. Oh, really? So this is a sign of LinkedIn switching to pay to play, so no point to stress impressions at this time. Yeah, that's also interesting. I mean, the best way you can probably still get impressions without needing to do all that, without needing to pay to boost yourself or whatever, is gonna be engagement with people, doing comments, doing engagement. Obviously, also building deeper connections because sometimes it doesn't matter. At least in my line of kind of work, it doesn't matter. Uh, the volume sure does matter, okay, but what matters more is personal relationship building because that leads to references and actual like good contact. So that's really important to do. So don't stress, like he said, don't stress the impressions at this time. Just stick to what's this? Oh, whoops! I was trying to switch myself. I really gotta cancel or something? Or no? Wait. Maximize. Here we go. There we go. Yeah, don't just stick to like engagement and building those relationships so you can get actual good contacts and references. Anyways, so we got 3 people here on live. I think one of them is me, one of them is my dad, and then one is gonna be another person. So come out, wherever you are. No, I'm joking. But do tell. Come in the comments and let us know what you think about of this because I don't know who it is. I can't unfortunately see who my live viewers are. It'll be kind of helpful, but at the same time, it'll be um, it'll be a little bit weird if a person could see like who's watching their live stream. So yeah, but yeah, come out and tell us your thoughts on I don't know either Google Gemini, well, not Google Gemini, about the AI versus search engine stuff, and or this new kind of impressions. What's it called? New impressions mechanics on LinkedIn, but they do seem a little bit weird. And I know that I used to like when I used to post a lot. You know, last semester rather. Uh, yeah, it was like I grew because of that because I posted consistently and stuff like that. I got a lot of impressions and a lot of organic reach as well. Now that's kind of dissipated from what I've seen. So there's only like uh, you know people are second level connections who are no, they're only first level connections. That's what I mean because it's not a lot of reach. It's just first level connection reach. If you want second and third level reach, then you got to pay for it. So it's a little cheeky. Anyways, yeah, if you spend if you spend 6 hours a day commenting, you'll get a couple more, but that's the point. LinkedIn now wants to have you sit at a screen all day long. Yeah, of course they do, but yeah, you don't. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, you don't want to spend 6 hours on of commenting. Obviously, you want to make like 30. No, 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 say 20 good comments a day, 15 to 20 good comments a day, depending on how much you want to build up. But yeah, 6 hours is a little crazy. I know a lot of people do take LinkedIn as like a full-time job, so they get off their regular work and then they spend like 8 hours on LinkedIn, which is just a little mind-boggling. So want to. I wouldn't do that for myself, honestly. That's it's a little crazy, too crazy for me. Then use LinkedIn only as a database to get info and make first or second contact. Oh yeah, definitely. You can use that. Yeah, obviously you can start some ways from that as well. And so yeah, interesting. Anyways, so this is fun. Oh, and another one. I do 5 comments at best a day and still connect with new people. Yeah, that's good. A lot of energy from you, especially today. Not much other comments. I mean, I can see, like I said, there's another person in there. Come say hi. Say hi in the chat. Like everybody who's here, say hi. And give me a random thought that you have. I don't know, or give me something to dissect, which is even better. Just make sure it's not too, I guess complex, deep. Although, any AI topic, any tech topic, I can pretty much handle and stuff. So, yeah. And about also the how would I put this, the Chat GPT, because people say like, oh yeah, Gemini, Google Gemini has a better database and stuff like that, because of all the internet traffic that they are building on and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, but kind of my view is like, if ChatGPT gets that many visits as well, and they get a lot of raw user input and stuff like that, for me sometimes it feels like comparing apples and oranges, right? Because it's just like, mm, uh, they're two different things. They're two different kind of searches, right? Because one is kind of user initiated, which it is in both. But one is kind of user initiated, and it's also kind of the user has to actually go through the search engines, filter through the search results and stuff like that. Um, and he just gave me a good topic. I'll get into that. I just want to finish my thought. Um, so we got 3 viewers on YouTube. Wow, perfect. That's a new record for YouTube. No, I'm playing. It's probably not. Anyways, so ChatGPT is it's a little, like I said, it's a bit different from Google, because Google is user initiated, and the user actually has to manually go through the search results, has to search up what they want, whatever. But ChatGPT is only user initiated. It gives you all the answers, it gives you all the websites, and it gives you all like the basically the breakdown if you want to do the search mode and stuff like that. So it's interesting, but they're two different things, and that's why I don't like to compare them in terms of search, in terms of like information. ChatGPT is obviously also builds on Google and search engines, like just like any other model. Basically, they build on internet stuff. So and yeah, and obviously ChatGPT in this, I guess, could be even worse than regular Google, because it can omit answers. It doesn't have to give you necessarily a website. It can give you a website it likes, right? So yeah, and it can hallucinate in that way as well. ChatGPT tells you basically what you want to hear. Yeah, that's a great again, that's a great input, and again, it's pretty well known by now. Although some people, and I mentioned this last time, there was this girl at a protest or whatever, and she was like, I have this guy's it was like she was at a protest to free that guy who murdered the United Healthcare CEO, the Luigi guy, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I have his bot on Character AI, and he's so supportive. He's amazing. He tells me like everything, and he's like kind of my uh, how would I put this, like confidant and stuff like that." And yeah, she does not realize probably that character bots, especially Character AI, will always tell you everything you want to hear. In what way? Because they are supposed to be role playing characters, and they will literally tell you anything you want to hear. So it's that's a fact, that's a fact of life. So don't believe everything ChatGPT obviously tells you. And I've been stressing this so much before. Yeah, Luigi. Yeah, Mangione. I don't want to even, honestly, I don't want to even like name him again, because it's just you're giving you're giving popularity to a guy who did a very horrible crime. And like, I will say, murder is not justified. Self-defense, okay, but this type of murder is absolutely not justified. And the person had a family. People are like, oh yeah, he deserved it. No, no, nobody deserves to die like that. Anyways, and also another thing, AWS issues. Yes, that's been another big topic last week, because, well, no, not last week, a couple of days ago, because, well, this past week, sure, okay, a couple of days ago, because yeah, it was interesting to see that one server went out, which was US East One, AWS US East One, and it caused like a good chunk of the internet to basically just a good chunk of the websites, apps, services. It caused them to just you know um, domino. It just fell one after the other. So I know it affected Snapchat. I couldn't use Snapchat that day that much. It apparently even affected Signal, which is interesting because they're like private and stuff like that. I didn't realize they used cloud. browsing and stuff. Interesting. And not cloud browsing, but just cloud services in general. And then it was just interesting to see because it's all built on one. Like it's a huge structure just built on a couple global servers, right? And I guess it could be. I guess it could be kind of dangerous because like if one or two servers just die, right, it could all collapse, right, because the other servers might not have the capacity and stuff to handle all that other flow of traffic. So that would be it's a little scary. And yeah. And then what else is it? I didn't want to say another thing. What was it? I'm trying to remember, but I guess I can't remember. Whoops. Anyways, yeah, no. Well, I mean, tell me your stories because I see we have total of 6 people here, minus 2, I think. So yeah, the 4. No, wait. 2, yeah, I guess 4 other people. Tell me, what do you think of what did you think of the AWS outage? Did it affect you? Did it affect you in any way, or what happened? 13 DNS servers around the world today. Yeah, that's it. That is kind of wow. And most people use only cloud by the big 3 to 4 tech. Bug, I know, big 3 to 4 tech giants. Yeah. What is it? AWS. They have Microsoft Azure as well. There's another one I know is I know Microsoft and AWS, and then probably Google. They also have a pretty big cloud presence. Another topic is i3 Atlas. I don't know about that one. It's just getting weirder by the day. I don't know, where did they get those images from? Hang on, I saw the 3i Atlas is a common. Oh, 3i Atlas. Whoops. Gosh darn, not i3. Let me search this up because it is a little weird. Hang on. It's about to get very active. Space photo of the week. Hang on. Let me see. Which is this one? I think, yeah, this one. Okay, hang on. Let me switch to this tab instead, and let me do boom. Oh, take control of your search. Now I got scared that was a paywall. Never mind. Boom. Okay, Manhattan size space object 3i Atlas. Manhattan size. I feel like every single space object, or even like a ice, a huge chunk of ice that breaks off from like the poles is always like Manhattan size. But that's just funny. It's like a very common. Measurement to use. Like like people say on the internet are like always, they kind of joke around like anything but the metric system. They always like Americans always find a way to use the imperial system or like any other sort of weird measurement, just not the metric system. Anyways, possible sign of alien maneuver. So now, before a tail was kind of like it didn't have a tail. It's weird. Comets were supposed to have a tail. Now it grew a tail, and so now it's like, oh, it's actually a maneuver. So again, I don't know. I don't know what to think of this like at all, because it is just odd. And it's getting closer, as you can see. Or I don't know if that's because this is astronomical unit. One astronomical unit is the distance on average from the Earth to the Sun, and this is getting closer. I'm not sure if it's like heading right for us, but anti-tail into a true tail. So it does have a tail now. I don't know. I will start getting concerned if it does have, fast. If it gets starts getting faster, because this is pretty close already. And what else is it? I want to say, oh yeah, September 24th. Another thing that's just a weird. It's just weird, because how do they get a new detail from a supposedly old image. It's just odd. So I don't know. It is a little weird. Blah blah. Never seen nickel alloy. Yeah, it does have like a human. Well, it has an alloy of nickel in it that it can only be produced. Well, until now we thought it can only be produced by humans on Earth here, right? And so they think, oh, it's extraterrestrial. I don't know what to think. It is really just odd. What is this? Oh yeah. Well, about the cloud providers, it's AWS, Microsoft, Google, and Apple. Okay. Harvard scientist is only Avi Loeb. He sees aliens everywhere. That's his life mission. Yeah, but that's just, I don't know how they got new pictures. And the media asked someone else. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just weird. Maybe it'll go a satellite dish out of its. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it'll be like Carbon. Who knows? Yeah, it'll turn into South Park eventually. It's Oh shoot! The International Asteroid Warning Network added 3 Atlas to its list of targets earlier this week and began monitoring the object for scientific purposes. See that's language used for when I see this, I start suspecting some other stuff, right? But again, while it poses no threat, common threat. Yeah, so if it's a warning network, it sounds kind of, the situation's kind of dire if they add it to its list of targets. Then they just say, "Oh yeah, just no threat." It's like, what? Why do they contradict themselves? Okay, yeah, whatever. To perform observing exercise uses prolonged observability from Earth, and it's high interest due to the scientific community. Yeah, but I'm just weirded out by where they got the new images. Maybe it was private private observatories that got the images of it, because they said that NASA is not taking any images now because there's a government shutdown. It's a very convenient way it's a very convenient cop out basically. But it's just the whole situation with that is odd, and I don't. That's why I don't like to get into it, because you know it can literally be so many things. There can be so many kind of different. They contradict themselves to get more funding. Yeah, he just said, yeah, that obviously that's like, oh yeah, they're gonna sound the alarm, and now we need more money to start observing this uh, not a threat. I was gonna say a threat, but it's not a threat according to them. Again, just weird. Yeah, I don't like to get into those. It's up to scientists. We'll see what the official reason eventually will become. And if the official reason is going to be nothing to see here, please move along, then it's probably there's something to see here, and we will need to look into that a little further. But until then, I don't know. I'll let the consensus reach. I'll let the let it reach itself. Kind of read the comments under the article. They're funny. Okay, that's the last thing I'm probably gonna do because we're already 30 minutes in. Okay. Very likely possibility and shouldn't be reacted to with alarm. Man, what's the possibility? We are waiting with bated breath for the images taken earlier this month by NASA's HiRISE, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, the government shut down, of course. Yeah, that was probably very, very close then. That would be kind of crazy to see. But I don't know which possibility he's reacting to. It should be reacted with alarm. 1890 onward, we've been sending out gigawatts of radio, TV, and internet signals in a light-speed bubble expanding away from the Earth. If there are spacefaring civilizations in the vicinity, they're about to be curious and take a look. We are far more likely to destroy ourselves in a panic response than actually face a hostile incursion. That's like Star Trek type of stuff, because they're like, oh yeah, it seems like a thing what like Picard would do or something like that. Like if he had a kind of a civilization that knew certain stuff about the universe and all that, he would, yeah, I feel like that would be something he would do, like send in a comet, right, to disguise it as something the people on that planet already know, so that they don't blow their cover, right? And they would just send a comet to kind of like take a look inconspicuously. Perhaps that's the case. I don't know. But it would be kind of funny. Uh, but it is not out of the question. I mean, yeah, it's true that we've been sending out these signals and stuff, and you know. Even like targeted signals, right? Like people have been, I've looked at a documentary about this, and there have been like, I guess like satellite dishes that sent like bursts of energy to like a certain to certain planets that could possibly, in our view, carry life. So people have been trying to do that as well, like more targeted. And we said no, life is clearly the exception, not the rule. And the universe is unlikely to exist for the sole purpose of life, though we are not likely completely alone. The likelihood of contact with anything else comparable to ourselves. Um, See, that's another. That turns into philosophy and stuff like that, because you can't science your way out of this. It's only you can only speculate, literally. So it is just a philosophy, and whether there's just other humans around, or if life takes other forms on other planets, right? That's all speculation. We don't know, because we could have been once a great civilization that started colonizing the entire universe, and now maybe people are coming back. Who knows? That could be another theory. And it all can sound very convincing, but it's not convincing until I see it with my own eyes. So that's just my take. And I get it. If it doesn't have a tail, that's a sign it's extraterrestrial. And if it does have a tail, that's a sign it's extraterrestrial. I don't think astrophysics is the right field for him. He would be perfect for climate science. Yeah, it's here he gets into a political bias, but ET, yeah, extraterrestrial. Yeah, it's just it's weird. It is just odd. Uh, it's kind of a contradiction again. Hopefully, on that Comet spacecraft, they have someone who would make a worthy draft pick in the first round for the Jets, who can play quarterback. Yeah, who knows? I still had a Holiday Inn Express last night, and I say it's going to extinguish the sun. Okay, that's just a joke. Yeah, it's going to. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here, but it's just very confusing. Anyone who knows a small amount of astronomy knows the tail is caused by the sun. In fact, sometimes comets are seen with the tail in front of them as they travel through space. Yeah, but again, it didn't have a tail before, right? And comets usually have tails a long ways away from the sun, right? So how do you explain that? And how do you explain it now, just now growing a tail? That's what that's basically getting into. Working Harvard scientist who claims it could be an alien craft. It's like the History Channel. Oh yeah, the Thanksgiving. Were there aliens? And was stuffing? Was it actually mine and stuffing mines? And was it was it just alien? Was it just an alien invention? Yeah, I guess these photos are subject to interpretation. I don't see a tail referred to. I don't see the tail referred to, and I clearly see Goofy having his way with Minnie Mouse. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's just Harvard scientists, for example, one scientist decided who doesn't believe it's an alien craft. The story is interesting enough. No need to gin it up with the aliens angle. Well, they need to do that. They got to get their revenue somehow, and I guess that's where I'll end. Uh, you know, so don't trust the media entirely. Don't trust ChatGPT entirely, because they're all in it for the money. And same with LinkedIn, obviously. LinkedIn is always in it for the money as well. But any company, any for-profit company is obviously in it for the money. So be careful about it. And yeah, I guess have a great rest of your Sunday. I went a little over the time. I wanted to read those comments. They were kind of funny, but yeah. Anyways, so 35 minutes. Thank you very much for watching, commenting, engaging, and I'll see you next Sunday at the same time here, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube. And yeah, I guess have a great rest of your Sunday. Have a blessed Sunday, and